press conference, this is what Alexander Afenyo Markin put out for on behalf of the minority, that there was an admission that indeed there's a loss of 1.7 billion. The only dispute is how it should be treated. And then he also says that Gold Board accounted for about 133 billion in advance in 2025. It was paid as a fees and a service fee, which was captured by the IMF as part of the cost or the loss of $1.7 billion. That alone means that Gold Board should also be held accountable for the loss of 1.7 billion.
That's ridiculous. I mean, you sit here, you said, no, I'm coming. You sit here, I call you, and I said, you please go and buy me this at this price. And you go and you buy it and come. And then if I make a loss as a result of the decision I directed you to go, how are you to blame? Achugo keke. Look, this stop this. I'm worried that we are okay. Focusing on the minors.
Mr.
Bedo. Brother, thank you. Good morning once again to you, your team, and then my seniors on the panel. And then the viewers out there, those listening as well. Mr. Kweku, is he in the jurisdiction?
No, he's
okay, so Mr. Kweku, good morning. And
morning, BBB.
Yes. And the very good people of Ocquaye constituency. Today is my constituency chairman's birthday. Shout out to him. God bless him for me. He's been doing very wonderful. Look, see, I like how you brought up the purported response of the respected minority leader after Mr. Gyamfi exposed the duplicity, the hypocrisy, and the blatant lies that were peddled for all this while. And you see, it cannot be said, any better than how my good brother has done. We must understand how this whole thing, because we can't keep discussing the matter without understanding the background. How did we get here? Why are we discussing this matter? Somebody spoke on behalf of a group, minority in parliament. And I think it's been over 6 months. This matter came up. I remember the session we ended before we came to the last one. There was this, that was when Honorable Kojo Kyeremanteng had tabled a motion in parliament asking for Gold Board. At that time, let's be fair here, let's be honest. Nobody mentioned Bank of Ghana. When these discussions were out there, people were denigrating individuals and all that. There was no mention of Gold Board, this Bank of Ghana. They said Gold Board. In fact, they simplified it. Say Gold Board akoton gold aboka. You heard them. Gold is your tomboka. These were the things that were peddled out there. So we had to find out, what was it? I was in the chamber. In fact, when these matters came up, we were a bit surprised, and we wanted to know what actually the basis was. But you see, let it also be put on record that at no point did the majority resist any move for the Gold Board to be held accountable or to be brought to Parliament to answer any question. It didn't happen.
You didn't resist it?
No, we didn't. We resisted the vehicle. Check their hands out. We resisted the vehicle.
And at that time, what vehicle were they?
Yes, they said there should be a bipartisan, whatever, a 9-member. That was the content of the motion. That there should be a 9-member committee made up of NDC and MPP go and sit. And then we said, no. If there has been any financial whatever as you claim, surely it should be in the books of that entity. And the books will surely go through an audit by the Auditor General, which Auditor General's report eventually would land at the doorstep of Parliament. And the Public Accounts Committee would have the opportunity of dealing with it, which committee is headed by the same one of the people who are all over the place saying all kinds of things. Honorable Adno Asare. It's not headed by James Agaga or Mahamadu Bawumia or myself. So what was the issue? So we said that, wait, let whatever be, what we didn't know. So let whatever come through the audit report, and then you have an opportunity of dealing with it. They said, no, they want a bipartisan. What, you know the history of these bipartisan ad hoc committees. What becomes of their report? Let anybody tell me one, just one, of such reports that has yielded anything for us. It becomes partisan. To the extent that the very last, I think, cash for seat or so, both parties, I mean, the minority, majority came up with different reports, if you remember. So if indeed you are calling for accountability, the vehicle should be the established, in fact, when you read, I think, 262 of our standing orders, it says that it is only where we don't have, or the matter does not come under a committee that exists already in our books. And you go for an ad hoc committee. We have public accounts committee. You are talking about finances. And you say we should establish an ad hoc committee. Is it not pure politics you are trying to do? So we saw it from day one, and we said no. So that was it. Nobody has said that. And indeed, even Bank of Ghana, the public accounts committee would have an opportunity of dealing with their books through the Auditor General. So what is the point? So that must be said. But then they kept saying that gold board. The discussion has always been around gold board, according to the minority. And that is why we must put the matters in the right perspective to expose them for what they have done. And like my senior said, no, nowhere did they say that, or did the IMF, the report they rely so much on as their Bible, that it is gold board that incurred the loss, or it is sitting in the books of gold board. If it's not in their books, if they didn't incur the loss, then why would you even ascribe, to the extent that you are even calling somebody a candidate for jail? Was that not?
That was very unfortunate.
Very, very unfortunate. The minority leader, I mean, these things are for food soldiers. You stood in front of the cameras and you called a person and you said I heard him subsequently, OKFM and then other places, he didn't mention the name of Sammy. Who else? Who else? So you see, this is what we should call them out for. Very responsible. With the greatest respect to him. I respect him so much. But you see, that is why we have the reports before us. And it's good. This is the only page 10, the item or paragraph 13. That is the only page that talks of the IMF report that speaks about this loss.
This one?
Yes. Nowhere again. This is it. So please, for the benefit of your viewers, tell us. They only mentioned. So you start, and you see the dishonesty. Hold on. So you see the dishonesty. Relying on the same document, they skipped the 2024 one.
You said losses in 2024 were equivalent to almost $400 million.
So hold on there. Did you ever hear them talk about the 2024 loss? Did you hear the respected minority leader ever mention the 2024 loss?
But that's how the report starts, isn't it?
Yes, and then they go but did you ever hear them mention it? It is the report. You see, we said that. We have an audited statement from the Auditor General. They said, no, we won't go with that. Leave that one. We will rely on the IMF report, which we have. Please tell me, the first sentence there is talks about 2024. Why did they skip it?
Well, they relied on the second part.
Why?
Which is the $1.7 billion.
Why?
Which
no, we will come to that.
As a result of the scheme.
Yes, but we will come to that. But why did they skip? Let us call them out for what they've done. Why did they skip the 2024 one? Look, let me tell you, the arrangement we have today, and Doc, let me, respectfully, it is not true that there is a current design, as you claim. The design has always been there. It's the PMMC design, which we still have.
I didn't say current design.
No. I wrote it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe.
I don't think he intended to say
well, that's fine. I agree.
Let me correct it. The design of the domestic.
It's important. It's not only you. People make the whole argument look as though it is something that is happening now, and it's never happened before. This policy is a policy of the old administration. The domestic gold purchase program is a policy of the old administration. Yes, Bank of Ghana, but the old administration. And the arrangement in terms of how this whole thing should be done and whatever fees and then how it is being done was done before we inherited power. In fact, Sammy inherited PMMC and did not change anything. Probably what we have now is the gold board, which is now a regulator different from the PMMC. That is the difference. But in terms of the Bank of Ghana's policy, the domestic gold purchase program, go and buy gold and bring it to me, it's always been like this. It's always been like this. And what do they do? As was explained, to make it simple, for the sake of our viewers, of course, the economists, they make the thing a bit complex. To make it very simple, as has been said, take this money, go and buy the gold and bring it to me. Bring it to me. In fact, Gold Board is not even a party to the arrangement in terms of taking the gold to outside the shores of the Republic. They don't even sit in meetings to discuss how much the gold should be sold. Is it possible for me to incur costs when I've not sold anything?
Well, but the IMF in their report, the same report that you reference, say that the losses, they diagnosed the cost of this $1.7 billion loss. They said the losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board, discounts on gold sold to off-takers, and most importantly, the exchange rate
So
losses.
let's deal with them.
So the fees paid to Gold Board is
So let's deal with them. Yes, so the fees paid to them, of course. If you ask me to go
unless you disagree with
It's a
that.
revenue to Gold Board, right?
No.
If you ask me to go and buy something,
Expenditure profile around the transaction.
you ask me to go and buy something. Let's make it very
So
simple.
God should not enforce for us. You carry your gold there and go and ask and see those
I am
give it to you for free.
referencing the IMF
Yeah,
report,
but I mean, communicate
the classification of the contributing
understand.
factors to the loss
Yes.
based on the IMF's own diagnosis. This is what they put there.
So I'm
Unless you
telling you,
disagree, no problem.
as a business, if I've made losses and I have advertisements there, and TV3, I did morning show or key points adverts there, and they say, oh, it's because of your administrative costs, which includes marketing, advertising, which was done to TV3, and then so now TV3 is responsible for the collapse of my company. My guy,
You see, it's very, 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 very sad. And this is the narrative our brothers on the other side are pushing. Look, let's deal with it. We are coming to it. So if, like he said, you asked me to go and purchase gold for you, of course. It's not the vehicles of Bank of Ghana that are used to go to the trenches. They don't pay the fuel. They don't pay for security. They don't pay for the asset. At the end of the day, do it and let me give you 2 cedis for the job done. I do it perfectly. You take the gold. You give me my 2 cedis. I go my way. What you decide to do with the gold, me, I'm not there. Then you say that, look, you are here. You are working for that station. You've been asked to, host this show at a fee. They pay you monthly. You do your work. You take your money and go. Tomorrow, you are indebted and they say you are rather indebted. Does it make sense? Doesn't make sense.
Your salary is the
Your
cost
salary
of the
is the
You
cost
are
of...
questioning the IMF's position.
No, we are
but you
questioning
see, it is because of the narrative. It is not a problem. The IMF has said that this, because you see, they are looking at the accounting laws. They looked at the books of the Bank of Ghana. And what is accounting laws? What you had, what you spent. Which one exceeds the other?
Absolutely.
Do you understand? So, of course, they will see it in the books. And that is why the IMF even says that, he said that these accounting losses partly reflect valuation effects rather than economic cost. And you know what economic cost is. Because there are economic gains here. But they said that, but they still weaken the BOG balance sheet.
Correct.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So it is all about balance sheet. Which central bank in the world doesn't spend? It's not a commercial bank. It is not a profit or loss organization.
But you heard the economists say that every loss is a loss, whether it is balance sheet loss or any other loss.
No, you see, that is the challenge I have.
With
Why?
what?
They have a responsibility of keeping our currency stable. They have a responsibility towards what do you call inflation. How do they do it? How are they expected to do it? How? They use money in doing it. And it must be so. How else will you do it? When you mop up excess liquidity, when you have to, when we used to go for a euro bond at a fee, at an interest, what was it used for? So you always spend, except that they can't, you see, the Bank of Ghana creates money, but they can't create any money other than CD. But we need dollars as well. So they have to put in policies. They have to create policies that will make us earn the dollar at a fee. So you see this whole argument, we are saying, but you see, let's not shape the goalposts. Let's not help our brothers here. What did they say? What has been the argument? They say gold board aboka. So for me, let's remain there. Our brother is here. Maybe he will explain to us what we do not know. But the report they rely so much on. How did the report ever? In fact, when you look at the heading, it says that DGPP operations have generated significant losses for the Bank of Ghana. So how is somebody a candidate for jail here? Somebody who doesn't work for Bank of Ghana. How is he a candidate for jail? Now you come and say that the loss has been admitted. Admitted by who? Have you even written a letter to Bank of Ghana? Admitted by who? We all know that the loss is there. And the loss has always been there. And but for your insincerity, you would have quoted from 2022. But for the propaganda you intended to do,
yeah, bro,
you should have started from 2022 if you wanted to be fair. You see, the intellectuals, the technocrats, the academicians are all here. If the argument had been, look, Bank of Ghana, tell us what is happening. How come we are incurring these losses from 2022? How? Then we are making a case. Then we can all join them in investigating what happened. But you see, the truth of the matter is that they are doing nothing but politics. They are doing nothing but politics. My brother, this ASEFI they are talking about. How different is that from the PMMC era? Were they also not taking the fees, the same fees? Were they not? So we are saying that, you see, like you said, once you've scaled up the program, surely the cost associated would also be more. But it doesn't mean that the Bank of Ghana has not also, the program has not yielded any results. We all know what has happened to our currency. One of the longest streaks, if you talk about the stability of our city, it is money that is used in doing that. If you talk about the inflation, now around 5 or less, 4. So we are doing quite well. So if that is why the IMF said it is not economic cost, because there are if you look at the economic, record in terms of gain or loss, you understand that we've come quite far and it's good. We've achieved so much. But I will still go and back to do the politics. You see, no, it's improper. How did we get here? They brought you here this morning because somebody did politics. Someone decided to do pure politics. And what is even sad, look at it. And let me even draw your attention to something. With all this, after all that was said, how come it is just, I'm just asking a harmless question. It appears that the respected minority leader is on his own. Where are his police?
How do you mean he's on his own?
No. In all this, my brother, yes, it's with the MPP, but this is a minority affair. Is he one of them? Yes. Where are they? How many have you heard? I've been on programs where I was expected to meet with my colleagues on there. They never showed up. Watch the space. Why have they left the respected minority leader to be on his own? No, I'm just asking a harmless question. He would respond. But this is a minority, yes, this is a minority issue. Minority in parliament. Where are they? I was on Joy FM 2 days ago. He never showed up. I was on Adom. He never showed up. UTV, they never showed up.
Well,
and the minority leader, no, I don't know. They themselves didn't know. They called them, they didn't come. Minority leader is the one hopping from one radio station, TV station to the other. Minority leader. After you are done with your press conference, the rest is for your lieutenants to carry on. Unfortunately, we are not seeing it. Is he on his own? Is it a personal agenda? Because it turned out that this is not true. Nobody wants to put his head on this.
Okay.
It turned out that if I'm paid fees for work done, I don't determine. In fact, going to buy the gold from the artisans, it is not gold that determines how much he intends buying under the current regime or the dispensation. He doesn't determine it. Everything is Bank of Ghana. Just take this, go and buy it at this rate. Bring it to me and take your fees.
Gold board is part. There's a committee that supervises that.
Currently.
Currently.
Currently. The PMMC, I'm saying that the committee you refer to, you see, Gold Board now has a certain legal whatever currently, which PMMC didn't have. The current Gold Board. Because it's also the regulator now. PMMC didn't have that.
However, it is the final say will always be with the
Bank of Ghana. That's
so,
okay.
But I'm just saying that.
Round up for me. I need to.
So please, what we are saying is this: if the argument is about the losses generally from 2022, we can have it. But I'm looking at the economic gains we have currently. I will not fault Bank of Ghana, even if you push it there, because they need to use money to actually bring us this far. But you see, if it is about Gold Board, as has been, persistently put out there that it is Gold Board that has incurred the loss, we are saying that the report you rely so much on doesn't even depict it. It doesn't show it.
Let me bring in the Honorable Mike Aaron Ocquaye Jr. here, because a number of the things you talk about, you reference him or the minority leader or the leader of his party's caucus in Parliament. The specific reference is made to the details of this report. And I took some time to lay some foundation before we started, and it's for good reason, because a number of people commenting extract aspects of this report, try to generalize it, but the report is specific when it comes to diagnosing the cost, the contributing factors to the loss of $1.7 billion as identified here, and then also how the IMF itself treats this. You see, accounting losses and its impact on the central bank's books, the balance sheet. But then the $1.7 billion loss. At what point in this report does it mention Gold Board specifically as incurring this loss? The reason why you want Gold Board, if I say you, I'm talking about the minority leader who addressed the press conference, want Gold Board to take up this whole $1.7 billion. They should be held accountable for it and be brought to question.
Thank you very much, and a very good day to your viewers and listeners. What we have said are a myriad of issues and matters that we want considered. We have mentioned the Bank of Ghana and we have mentioned the Gold Board. Both. And why have we mentioned both? To explain this to the regular Ghanaian listener. It's a case of two government entities handling the taxpayers' money. The taxpayers' money is about 133 billion cedis. This money has been taken from Bank of Ghana, given to Gold Board to go and buy us gold. Now, in the process of the buying, the selling, the weighing, the assay, the valuing, and ultimately the export, after which there have been different things like forex differentials and so on, we have lost $1.7 billion. In effect, about 11.7 billion cedis, about 11 billion cedis.
22. Right? No, that's 22 billion cedis.
Oh, sorry. Cedis is about 20. I'll even say about 20 because if you use the exchange rate and lower it a bit, it will come down rather to about 20. So let's be fair. Let's even say 20.
It's a considerate opposition.
Yes, yes. But the $11.7 billion, that's equivalent to the 33 billion, excuse me. If you look at it upside, downside, sideways, they've lost 10% of that money. For me, where you have been given $11.7 billion of the taxpayers' money to go and perform a function for us, and you lose 10% of it, the losses are too huge. And where our money is given from one entity to another, they are all government agencies. And there's a loss. We need to ask questions.
Of course.
Why is it that all of a sudden, if there's a loss, and we say that the loss is not only just one of a certain meager amount, but of such high magnitude, all of a sudden, they say we shouldn't ask. The reason we asked the questions was simple. The money, whether it's sitting in the loss of Bank of Ghana or sitting in the loss accounting book of Gold Board, the value is the same.
The value is the same?
We have lost the money 1.7. So we are trying to say that, okay, government, make sure that you give money to another entity to conduct a program where it's prudent. Am I lying? Because we want the government to make prudent decisions. We want the Bank of Ghana to use our money prudently. So if we are asking that our money should be used prudently, where is the problem? And this is where the issue comes. And let Ghanaians be aware. The IMF is reporting on history in 2025. As at now, Gold Board, because they have also sat with Bank of Ghana, and Bank of Ghana has also sat with Gold Board and realized that it is not efficient, it is not prudent. They announced on the 11th of August that since March, they stopped using that. And the Bank of Ghana is no more going to finance Gold Board in such a manner because a cano does.
Doc, hold on, Honorable, hold on a bit.
No, I just want to let me land on this small point because you see,
Professor Bobkin is
Professor
running
Bobkin, yes, let me just take
me?
this.
Yes,
Okay, let's.
yes.
So we shouldn't trivialize this matter.
No, but I'll come to you, just so you know. You have not exhausted your point. Professor Godfred Bobkin is a professor of finance.
I was his lawyer. He's one of my
He's joining us on the telephone. Prof, good morning.
Yes, good morning. And good morning to our cherished listeners and viewers.
Great.
Good morning to my bosses at the studio.
Yes, there's quite a number.
You must acknowledge the presence of your floor rep and your JCR president, please.
Oh, yes. Please, I acknowledge your presence, boss.
And acknowledge that you have interrupted my phone.
Oh, indeed. Prof, very quickly, and earlier in the week, we had a private conversation on some of these positions espoused by persons commenting on this particular IMF report. The treatment of the $1.7 billion is what has taken much of the discussion as to how this should be classified, whether as a loss in itself or a transactional cost. How would you see this?
Okay, thank you very much. So let me start off this way. It makes no difference for us typically if we say it should be treated as transaction costs or as losses. It's one country. It's an intervention a country is putting in place. This intervention, there are different players, including aggregators, off-takers, including Gold Board. Then there is also Bank of Ghana. Remember, if we adopt a general approach to accounting for this, we can situate this. Some can treat it as transaction costs, others can treat it as losses. But as a country, what is the net effect of that to us? And then I'll go into a bit into the detail. From the conceptualization, I think it was also on your network. Mm-hmm. We had indicated that by design, this domestic gold purchase, for which Gold Board essentially became the face of it in terms of operationalizing it, right? Because from 2025, they had become a monopsony in the system, and all of that was bound to generate certain losses. And of course, the good news is that through the gold board, we have seen significant crowding in of FX, which is good for us as a country and all of that. But then we also have to look at the design effect and how we correct that. My position from the beginning was that this was a fiscal activity. This was a fiscal activity. The creation of gold board was a fiscal activity. And therefore, we should look at the value chain and how we can properly account for the entire cost and then the benefit arising from that, rather than sacrificing the balance sheet of the central bank. You see, if you run a business, and I indicated this on your network, that if you run a business, exchange rate losses, variations, you can't offload it to somebody else. You can't offload it to somebody else. It's part of your business operation. So for other businesses and stuff like that, last year, 2 years ago, with exchange rate variations, some incurred losses, others recorded some gains, depending on the positions that they take. And we do know that there are multiple exchange rates. We operate more or less a multiple exchange rate system in Ghana. Okay, you have the Forex Bureau rate, you have the Bank of Ghana's own official rate, you have the interbank rate, then you have the cash rates, you have, and all of that. So with that system, you are likely going to have challenges. Then also look at the entire package, including the spread, which is manifesting in losses today. Call that one transaction losses. But remember that it also refers transfers. What you call cost here is gain for off-takers and others who have to now change the currency, okay, and all of. So whilst the loss on the books of, let's say, the central bank, remember it gains on the other side, right? So at the end, it's the country that is losing. But what then is important is that all these things were designed to ensure that the entire domestic gold purchasing with gold board coming on board becomes more attractive as a way of pricing out. Remember, as a way of pricing out smugglers in the market. So to that extent, we should adopt that value chain approach to accounting for this, rather than saying that it's not part of the, because the whole plan was, how do we pay the highest possible price? Okay, and remember, the IMF had also indicated that by so doing, together with the spread and all of that, the price at which we were buying gold became one of the highest in the region. Possibly could even encourage smugglers from other countries to come and sell gold in Ghana because it was more attractive in Ghana. If you were doing that, all of that, just to be able to crowd in the FX, then we cannot take the gain in isolation. You have to look at the entire package, okay? Because we did all of this thing. We did all of this is in order to price out other buyers or smugglers. In fact, and for the state to have allowed that was even wrong in the first place. Why? Because the gold board had become monopoly. So you need to look at the entire value chain and the pricing regime, okay, including the spread we had to allow and all of that, in order to make this like the only go-to, more or less. But of course, if you are designing an economic intervention, you just don't solely look at price. You also want to look at other interventions that you will put in place to support, so that compliance becomes what? Higher. So it's a price we have paid. And what we indicated was that even at that time, when we said that, these losses were infinitesimal, we were talking about $214 million at that time. Okay, and we said that this thing could be more than that. It could be more than that. Let's take it. And we were comparing. The issue was that we were comparing these losses then to all the inflows that had come in as a result of gold board taking over. But that itself is wrong, because you can, if the entire operation for the year brought in FX, okay, of $10.9 billion, that is the entire revenue. That is not profit. Remember that you paid something to be able to buy the gold. So to be able to determine your profit at the end, you have to look at the cost of purchasing. You have to look at exchange rate variations. You have to look at all of that. Then you can determine that this is the profit we have made. That is not the only thing, Alfred. So we are talking about what Ghana has lost in order to achieve this. And that should not be lost on us. The other thing to bear in mind is that we have had to also scrap 1.5% final withholding tax, okay, as part of the package to be able to crowd in. So if you adopt a value chain approach to analyze all of this, what the country has to give up in order to crowd in this effort is quite huge. Then the question you ask yourself is the intervention that costly? Is bringing gains, but does it have to be that costly? What can be done? And I believe that measures have been put in place in trying to reduce those level of losses. And bear in mind that the books will change materially going forward, because once Bank of Ghana exits, remember Bank of Ghana provide the CDs. Okay, yes. There's no free money anywhere. Today, if Gold Board has to now go and obtain the CDs, or the Ministry of Finance has to make that budget provision, that is cost to the country that we have to take into consideration. Because if you go to take the money from commercial banks in order to buy the gold, when the gold, you sell the gold and the money comes, you have to pay the commercial bank. But Bank of Ghana had backstopped this with their balance sheet, okay, and the cost on their books was quite high and all of that. Remember, when you say it's transaction cost, see the implication, because it passes through other comprehensive income. It manifests in huge negative equity for Bank of Ghana that we have to capitalize. We are talking about something around Bank of Ghana's negative equity position today is around $9.3 billion. Okay, so if you adopt a value chain approach, this is one country. So if one entity celebrates gains and the other entity is celebrating huge losses, which must be taken up ultimately by the same taxpayer, we want to be a bit mindful of the entire value chain approach and how we go about it, so that it helps us to see how we can minimize the cost to the country as a whole. And remember that there is price sensitivity here, that if world gold price should dip significantly today, these gains we are celebrating here could easily unwind. Meanwhile, the cost, you can't do much about the cost and all of that. So I'm saying that good news, we celebrated the introduction of Gold Board, and we congratulated them, but the cost of operationalizing it and all of that is huge. And remember that when it comes to buying gold, it didn't start today. We've been buying gold as part of our monetary management and reserve management. Not today. We talk about monetary gold, okay, and all of that. We have scaled up. That is good news. It's coming at a huge cost. How do we transparently, and read the IMF report? Is quite interesting. The IMF report is quite clear. Even going forward, as Gold Board takes over full operation, the IMF is indicating how do we transparently account for this. Oh, that's quite instructive, because it has to take the IMF to bring almost all these losses to our attention. Would we have been that transparent to ourselves?
I see. Prof, you've done some comprehensive analysis and submission on this. I know you are on the move. So a number of questions I wanted to ask you, I've gone ahead to answer. But thank you. Thank you for joining. But I know you're still staying with us to listen to the conversation as we go on. But there's something Prof references about the other costs to this. The scrapping of the 1.5%. I think you mentioned as well, the withholding tax and so on.
Was that done by Gold Board?
No.
Okay. So thank you very much. And I think that Ghanaians have enjoyed listening to the knowledge that was spewed by, I think, is it Prof. Bobkin?
If you went to Lagos, you would have been able to pronounce it.
Yes. I think it's
next time, follow your father. Learn from your father.
No, it's Bobkin. No, it's not Bobkin. It's not
okay, gentlemen.
Yeah, Bobkin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, the one who didn't go to the next time, know that we are international.
Okay, let's see. Thank you.
So now, moving on to this issue of the losses, as I was saying, we can't have one entity fund a program. The other entity loses 10% of the money. And one thing that I found really strange was the fact that this money is about $11.7 billion. Then there's a loss of $1.7 billion, albeit sitting in the Bank of Ghana accounts. Then we have people within the same structure telling us that they made $10 billion, so we should give them praise. Where is this logic coming from? A Ghanaian shouldn't complain about this. Was it not the same gold board who were arrogating to themselves that well-done scenario? But yet, when we arrogate the loss to them, then people are saying, oh no, that one is for Bank of Ghana. You see the hypocrisy? So Ghanaians will say that if you will take the benefit, then you must also take the responsibility of the loss. And this is where it's come. Nobody is doing politics. They rather started the politics and giving themselves accolade, putting themselves big crowns of honor that they have achieved $10 billion for Ghana. Say, hey, that's not the case. There's a 1.7 billion. In fact, some commentators like Steve Mantia and all even went to the extent of saying that we should praise the government for that 10 billion that they've managed to claw back out of the 11.7. That doesn't make any sense. And why are we complaining about all of this that is happening in the country? Look, my brother, the losses, if you look at section 13 of the IMF country report, that's the 6th review, it says that the losses accrued on gold trade, a combination of service and asset fees paid to gold board. Let's take there first. Now, my brother, these service charges, have they been scrutinized? Because remember that what is happening is that gold board is
reduced from what MPP was paying in 2024.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is how the money has been managed. And you see, one of the biggest problems with this in the loss was also the scaling up. Because you see, most things, when you want to try it and see if it's going to work or not, you don't scale it up. You rather do a pilot. A pilot is to make it small. So I'm sure you agree with me on that.
100%.
And then when you make the pilot
was done in 2023,
but then they rather went and scaled it up while they've not perfected it. And today, the same Bank of Ghana has cut off the program because it's not working. So if you had rather done it as a pilot, instead of scaling up, the losses will not have scaled. And we are saying that what was done was high mismanagement. And the job of opposition is to scrutinize the job of government. I don't know why they are crying that somebody is scrutinizing them. We will scrutinize them today, we'll scrutinize them tomorrow, and we'll scrutinize them every time of the day. That is our job. Look, we cannot say that accounting losses and say that what? An accounting technicality or an accounting structure that is looked at and used as a shield against public accountability. Accounting, what? We have to find out what are some of the details. And they say the opposition must ask questions. Let's credit Afenyo Markin. When he had the press conference, he mentioned actually a catalog, not a list, a catalog. That means you can make it into a book of reasons why Gold Board must give Ghanaians certain details so that we can understand. What were some of the things he asked? He says, one, we want to know the differentials in terms of the various times of how the gold was sold. For example, those prices too, how were they determined? We want to know. We want to know the premiums. He says that we want to know how international off-takers were selected. And my brother, are you also aware that in all of this transaction, we have one sole sourced aggregator who is handling all of this?
There are two now.
Now it's two. I don't want to mention the names. But in 2025, right, when most of this thing were happening, Gold Board went and sole sourced an aggregator to handle this. So if there are losses, we won't ask them. Because they were in charge of the process. We know that. Gold Board were in charge of the whole process. And they then went and gave it to another entity to handle it for them. So if that entity, which is not a government entity, has made certain profits, there have been certain commissions paid, we want to know how much are those commissions, and if possible, to trace into whose pockets those commissions may have even gone to. That is the job of opposition. Let's put politics aside. The job of the mighty minority is to make sure that they scrutinize government money that is spent. And this is all that they are doing. Now, apart from the international people who were chosen, we want to know, do they have links to this? Do they have links to that? Now, we want to know, you gold board yourself, what kind of service fee did you earn?
What kind of
public
No, I know, but we want to know, and then we look
what
at...
you want to know is public.
Yeah, it's public.
Yes,
no.
So you should...
No, you're not getting me. I'm saying that these are questions that we are asking. And we want to know that, for example, what were the commercial risks? There are very detailed things that we want to be answered in Parliament. Because, you see, the minority represents Ghanaians. And it is the minority's job to make sure that when an IMF report like this comes out, they say we want further and better particulars. So come and give us some of the further and better particulars. And then, even though we may know the exact amount of, for example, what was the discount sold at a particular, let's say, particular month, we want to know the reasoning behind it. Why is it that this time discounts were going like this, but you went and did this? Could there have been an ulterior motive? That's why we go for further and better particulars.
Also reduced.
Well, but you're not getting me.
Yeah.
When it was,
I agree.
Thank you. When it was reduced in this month, why wasn't it reduced in this month? We have to be able to juxtapose, and that is what we are looking at. So we must make sure that this thing is financially sound. We have to make sure that it has been properly priced and adequately risk managed. Because risk management is part of the money. This is Ghana government money. And once the money is being used, we need to be able to justify. Now, when people are making comments on the side that, oh, they said gold board should come and answer this and come and answer that, that is because we know that the person who went and did the trading and the selling of the gold is not the Bank of Ghana. So even though the Bank of Ghana, no, they didn't do that. They didn't sell the gold. They didn't assay the gold. They didn't do all those things.
No. It's a principal agent relationship. Let's be careful.
Even gold board, they gave that to another aggregator to handle all of that aspects. The Bank of Ghana, after all of this has been done, they are going through channels. So they've taken our money. They financed gold board. Then when they financed gold board has gone to make all this 10% loss. So now, since March this year, Bank of Ghana said, we tire plus you. We are not going to give you any more. So now, the gold board has to go into the open market, has to go into other agencies to start looking for funds. Now, when they go to these agencies internationally, can they go and make those same losses without any obligation? You think they can go and lose?
That is why I say that is where the conversation should be.
Thank you. No, but before the conversation gets there, to go forward, you must sometimes go 2 steps backwards. Then when you go 2 steps backwards, you'll be able to understand where are we going. And that is why a lot of people learn history. If you don't learn that history, why is it that you went and scaled up at a time where you are not perfected the thing? It's as if you are in a hurry to make the losses even bigger.
But they were perfecting what you did.
No, you are not getting me. Look, what happened under MPP? We said we're doing a gold domestic purchase program. One of them was for reserves, and that's reserves. And we built the reserves up to 32. Remember? When you came and sold the reserves, about half of it, and used it for the various things that you're coming. We were saying that with gold purchase program, we had a different direction. Our direction was also not to the extent of these forex losses. And why are we saying that? Gold board, if you look at NDC manifesto, let me tell you one history that you yourself, you are not aware of. Yeah. You remember that in NDC themselves, in their own manifesto, they told us that what they are going to do is that they are going to establish, and this is under the title, the NDC's manifesto. They said they will set up a gold board to regulate and restructure small-scale mining. They never mentioned anything about reserves. They never mentioned anything about building the gold so that we had all these problems with the forex. Yeah. Then listen to MPP's own. They said, we are going to bring together a plan to consolidate Ghana's gold purchasing arrangements, expand foreign exchange results, and anchor currency and macroeconomic stability.
You guys, well, you
then
no,
let me land. Oh, Senor, I'm not doing this interview for you. I'm talking to the Ghanaians. I want them to listen. I'm coming. Oh, Senor, hold on. While you're talking, I didn't interrupt. I want no. Someone and
I'm giving you comment.
Then this is a typical case of, I'm sure, Prof. Bobkin and my brother Ken and others here who are very good academics will tell you of copycat. Where you go and copy a concept, yes, and you don't understand how the concept really works, and you go and apply it in a situation where you are rather supposed to understand it in a pilot, but they went and scaled up. This in itself is the biggest problem, and somebody must be held responsible. How do you go and scale up something that you have not perfected? Something you are not sure of. In fact, they scaled it up to abandon it. And now the Bank of Ghana has abandoned it because they say, who did it? So if that is going on, we must ask the questions. And I don't understand why people are trying to make justifications. That, when we worked and then we did this, but we paid A, B, C, D, so that's why the money is lost. If I give you my money, as we were mentioning with TV3, and you are supposed to manage a certain account for me, but the losses that you make are explicable, you can explain it, I'll be okay. But where the losses are too huge, and of a magnitude where I'll ask you that why did you go and scale up this when the losses were already evident? You must be able to tell me something. And this is what you're asking them. And thanks be to God that after the IMF show of 2025, they have now stopped it since March. So hopefully this year will be better. But in the meantime, you will still account for why you scaled it up in March and why we held such losses. Because we'll ask you, what were the policies? What were the things you put in place to be able to handle that? And that is the reason why Afenyo Markin came and mentioned all those things. Look, maybe some of the rest, it was tongue-in-cheek. I have heard in some places, some people were making jokes. Hey, I saw Sammy video where they build this Ocquaye Jesus Christ and 12 disciples and blah, blah. Those are just political talk. Why do you behave as if there's no political talk in this country? We were in this country where people say gold reserves. City Kote say Kufuafa gold reserves in Akonifi. They asked him, he said it's political talk. I know that some of it sometimes don't take it too serious and divert the thing. But the most important thing is that Sikana ya saying, and we'll see it will be some question. We should be able to ask what has happened to the 1.7 billion. And if the answers are satisfactory, we leave it. But the answers are not satisfactory, then those who are in charge will have to give us accountability.
Well,
thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.